Once, in a quiet corner of the world where the ground hummed softly, and the sky listened carefully, there lived a very small glowing light. Not a star. Not a candle. Not a firefly. Just a light. It floated a little above the mossy ground, warm and round, no bigger than an apple. Its glow was gentle, like a whisper you could almost hear if you leaned in close. Long ago, though the light could no longer remember how long ago, it had shone brightly. Bright enough to paint the stones gold. Bright enough to make shadows dance. Bright enough to feel proud of itself. But time passed. And the world grew busy. And the little light began to dim. Not all at once. Just a little each day. The light's name was Lumoel. Lumoel drifted through the valley of slow breezes, where tall grass bent politely and trees leaned toward one another, as if sharing secrets. Everywhere Lumoel went, it tried to shine, but the glow felt weaker than it once had. "I must not be exceptional," Lumoel murmured, its voice soft and flickering. "If I were special, I would shine more." The wind, which heard nearly everything, sighed gently but said nothing. Lumoel floated past puddles and stones and old tree roots, hoping someone, anyone, would notice. But the valley creatures were busy with their own days. A beetle polished its shell. A rabbit practiced hopping faster. A crow argued with its reflection. No one stopped to admire the light. So Lumoel drifted farther and further, until the ground changed beneath it. The moss grew thinner. The air felt heavier. And the shadows stretched longer than before. At the edge of the valley stood a narrow path that curled into a place called the dim wood. The dim wood was not dangerous, but it was quiet in a way that made thoughts echo. Lumoel hesitated. "I shouldn't go there," it whispered. "But maybe I'll find something." With a slight, trembling glow, Lumoel floated inside. The trees of the dim wood were tall and close together, their leaves overlapping like folded hands. Very little light reached the ground. Lumoel's glow flickered. "What if I disappear?" it wondered. Just then, a sound broke the silence. Tap. Tap tap. Scrape. From behind a tree stump emerged a creature with long ears, careful eyes, and paws dusted with earth. It was a burrowed dweller named Fenrikel. Fenrikel froze when it saw Lumoel. "Oh," Fenrikel said softly. "You shine." Lumoel startled. I do?" Fenrikel nodded. "Not loudly, but kindly." No one had ever said that before. "I used to shine more," Lumoel admitted. "Now I'm fading." Fenrikel tilted its head. "Why would you think that?" "Because I feel smaller," Lumoel said. "And no one seems to need my light." Fenrikel considered this carefully. "I dig tunnels," Fenrikel said. "Sometimes I get lost in them. Even a little light helps more than you think." Lumoel glowed a fraction brighter. "Would you like to help?" Lumoel asked. Fenrikel smiled. "I would like that very much." So Lumoel followed Fenrikel into the earth. The tunnels were narrow and winding. The darkness pressed close. But Lumoel glowed steadily, lighting pebbles and roots and the gentle curve of the path. Fenrikel moved with confidence now. "I can see," Fenrikel said. "Thank you." When they reached the end of the tunnel, Fenrikel bowed. "You are brighter than you believe," Fenrikel said. "Don't forget that." Lumoel floated back up to the forest floor, feeling warmer than before. But the thought crept back in. "If I were truly bright," Lumoel whispered, "wouldn't I know it already?" The dim wood grew deeper. Soon Lumoel came upon a stream that barely reflected anything at all. The water was dark and slow, carrying fallen leaves like sleepy boats. On the bank sat a tall, thin bird with feathers the color of dusk. Its name was Orlin. Orlin stared into the water, very still. "Hello?" Lumoel said carefully. Orlin blinked. "Oh. Light. You seem sad," Lumoel said. Orlin nodded once. "I am afraid to cross." "The stream?" Lumoel asked. "Yes," Orlin said. "I cannot see how deep it is." And I do not like surprises. Lumoel drifted closer to the water. The glow touched the surface. The stream brightened, revealing smooth stones just beneath the ripples. It's shallow, Lumoel said. You can step here, and here. Oralyn leaned forward. I see, Oralyn breathed. Slowly, carefully, Oralyn crossed the stream, placing each step where the light guided. When Oralyn reached the other side, it spread its wings. Thank you, Oralyn said. Your light made the unknown gentle. Something warm pulsed inside Lumoel. But still, as night settled over the dim wood, Lumoel's glow wavered. I helped, it said. But I still don't feel bright. A voice rose from the roots of an ancient tree. Brightness is not a feeling, said the tree. Lumoel turned. The tree's bark was silvered with age, its roots curling like sleeping snakes. Its name was Thryn. Brightness is a doing, Thryn continued. And a noticing. I don't understand, Lumoel said. Thryn's leaves rustled. Then walk, Thryn said. Watch. Wonder. So Lumoel did. It wandered deeper into the night. It watched moths gather near its glow. It wondered how many paths had been lit without thanks. It noticed the quiet courage it took to keep shining at all. Soon, Lumoel heard a sound. A small sound. A shaking sound. Beneath a fallen branch curled a creature no larger than a pinecone, its shell cracked and dull. It was a snail child named Brynlith. I can't find my way home, Brynlith sniffed. It's too dark. Lumoel hovered closer. I don't know the way there, Lumoel said honestly. But we can look together. Brynlith peeked out. You won't leave? Brynlith asked. I won't, Lumoel promised. They moved slowly. Very slowly. Lumoel glowed softly, lighting each careful inch. Brynlith followed, brave step by brave step. When they reached a cluster of glowing mushrooms near a stone wall, Brynlith gasped. My home! Brynlith cried. The mushrooms shimmered brighter, as if celebrating. Brynlith hugged Lumoel as much as a snail could. You are magic, Brynlith said. The word echoed. Magic. Lumoel floated back into the open clearing beyond the dim wood. The sky above had darkened completely. Stars blinked awake one by one. For the first time, Lumoel noticed something strange. The stars did not all shine the same. Some were bold. Some were faint. Some flickered gently, like breathing. Yet the sky was beautiful because of all of them. Lumoel looked down at itself. At its steady glow. At its quiet warmth. I thought brightness meant being the biggest, Lumoel said softly. But maybe it means being enough. The wind stirred. Yes, the wind whispered. Lumoel felt something shift. Not a sudden blaze. Not a burst. But a remembering. The glow grew warmer. Brighter. Not because Lumoel forced it. But because Lumoel stopped hiding it. From that night on, Lumoel traveled with curiosity. It followed questions instead of doubt. It paused to help instead of rushing past. It shone even when no one asked. Sometimes the glow dimmed again. That was okay. Lumoel had learned something important. Brightness is not lost forever. It waits. In kindness. In courage. In curiosity. And whenever Lumoel forgot, the world gently reminded it. Just as it always will. Because magic, once noticed, never truly fades.